So we've all heard that term debt ceiling, but what is it? So here to tell us exactly what it is and why it's important is Dylan Bond. He's the owner of Bond Financial Services. Dylan, it's a pleasure to have you here. Nice suit,
Good
by
to
the
be
way.
here. Thank you very much, Seth.
Excellent suit. So what is this debt ceiling?
Well, basically what the debt ceiling is it's the limit that we put on our government on how much money we can borrow. To put it into our terms, if we have a credit card, we can't spend over our credit limit. Okay, and the debt ceiling for our country was hit December 31st of last year, and that debt ceiling was at about $16.39 trillion.
See, yeah, my credit card limit's like $5,000.
Exactly,
maybe.
my credit card limit's a lot less than that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're at a point right now where we can no longer borrow money to continue to pay all of the obligations that we have, whether it be Social Security, whether it be government programs, or at the end of the day, even at some level, pay the government employees. So it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and they're working on that as we speak.
And so that's how it affects us, because you see these things, you read them in the news, you say, well, I'm just an average Joe, but it really has a trickle-down effect.
Right. Basically, what's going on is both sides of Congress have been making tax cuts and increasing spending. So that's put us in a position now where we're at our limit. We've reached our limit, and if I asked you to lend me money and I already owed $200,000 and I only made $50,000 a year. Would you have a concern in lending me money, thinking maybe you wouldn't get it paid back? Well, that's what a lot of people are out there looking at when it comes to keep buying government bonds or lending more money to the government.
Because that's their rationale, is that when am I going to see it? I know how much you're making, and because that's all disclosed.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different solutions. There's four different solutions. Obviously, extend the debt ceiling so we can borrow more money to continue to go into debt to pay our obligations. There's even some loophole in the 14th Amendment where they're talking about they can't print money to give out.
Is this that coin?
But it's the $1 trillion platinum coin.
Wow.
So they found a loophole where they could mint $1 trillion platinum coin, which would create more money to continue on the path we're on.
Unless you lose that coin.
Yeah. Ultimately, like all of us,
Yeah.
when we're spending too much and not making enough, we have to make cutbacks. We have to do things so that we can pay down our debt, our credit card debt, our mortgage, and make sure that we have money to live on. And I think that's what the government needs to start to do.
And that's what we need to do in our everyday lives, like we were just talking about. So someone can go to you, and you can really help them out, really sit down, pen and paper, and see what they need to do on a monthly basis. And then going forward, what you can put aside for retirement, because that's really what it comes down to.
Right. I think the best step is to first come to one of my seminars. I do them basically on a weekly basis. Over the next couple of weeks, we have them coming up at Leone's in Springfield, the La Cucina de Hamden House in Hamden. And we start them around 6 o'clock. You can call George at my office for dates and availability.
And they fill up pretty quick.
They fill up quick. I know one of the Leone's events just filled up, but we have another one that's open. And it's a good way to hear about everything that we're doing to navigate through this jungle of a financial world that we're in right now.
And it's no cost, it's no pressure, it's just hearing a guy who knows what he's talking about talk for a while.
Right. Bottom line, I want to tell my story. If it makes sense to you, then you can take some time to come in and talk to me on a one-on-one basis. The other commitment I make is when people come in to talk to me, I'll meet with nothing more than a pen, a pad, and a calculator. I'm not going to try to sell anything on a first appointment. It makes no sense to me. I'm going to try to learn about who I'm talking to and offer some advice if I can.
Because you always say, and what I love, but I always botch it up when I say it, it's every person's financial record's like a thumbprint. None are the same, but they all require care and a lot of thinking.
Right, and we have a book we've put together, the 10 things you need to know about retirement income planning, that we give out to people that when they do come in for that first appointment, we let them leave with that, because it talks about Social Security, it talks about rising health care costs, it It talks about all the things that people at or near retirement really need to get their arms around.
Well, it's tremendous. It's like the Retirement Income Bible. It's got everything in it that you need to know, but it's supplemented with your knowledge.
Yeah, I like that, the Retirement Income Bible.
Yeah, so people, if they come in, they meet with you, no muss, no fuss, no strings attached, pen and paper, and they get to leave with a sweet
Yeah,
book,
we always give one of those to anybody that comes in and meets with us, because a lot of the things we talk about during the first meeting are in that book, and it's just something they can walk away with and say, you know what, let me go back into that and refresh my memory as to what we talked about.
And Dylan, we're actually kind of talking in a pretty unique time, because we're talking debt ceiling today, but right now or sometime soon they're going to make another decision whether to push it back or print that crazy coin.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to do something just to kick the can down the road a little bit, but at some point we really have to face some hard decisions.
That's the thing. It seems like to me, and obviously you know me very well, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it seems like this coin and keeping raising the debt ceiling, you're just kind of putting a Band-Aid on a larger problem.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. We could spend another hour on that. We clearly don't have that time.
So hey, maybe next week we'll touch on that. Dylan, it's a pleasure to have you here. Bond Financial Services, everything people need for retirement. So you can visit bondfinancialservices.net or give him a call, 413-754-4747. Just let Dylan, George, everyone else, all the staff at Bond Financial Services take the steps to secure your financial future.